Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Hi there, Ellen. Let me let some more people in. Okay. Hi there, Bob.
Hello.
Hi, Leilani.
Good morning, Deborah. First one on board today. Except actually Tom was, because Tom and I practiced sharing his video clip. But we have our two people with huge Lawrence and Sammy. Both of you are in escrow, right? I hope. So I chose this song again because, you know, we are back to basics. And so we're in training, but I thought it's also appropriate for George as he's going back into training. So I'm trying to figure out how to do both. So it's a little difficult. So if I mess up, you know why. So, but it's learning new skills, always learning new skills. So let me turn this off now. And I think he does it in a way where he kind of lets it go a little down here. Oh, oops. Okay. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you so much all for your support and prayers. It's been a little tough, but I felt like this, George knows that we're doing this meeting, and I feel like it's good for me to try to get some normality into my life. And so I wanted to share with you our what do you call that? The agenda. So let me grab it. So here we go. We do have a new agent, and I'll be introducing her to you. And actually, she'll be introducing herself. And then just a recap of our lunch and learn that we had 2 weeks ago on a Thursday with Vicki, Orange Coast Title. And then I wanted to share with you this video that I thought was very helpful, especially during this past week for me on a personal level. And then we have both Maria and Brian to share with us the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's speech in Jackson Hole and what that means for us in real estate. And so they are with a new company called Movement Mortgage. And then we have some housekeeping. And I wanted to direct your attention to our what do you call this, the quote for the week, because actually I chose it a while ago, and but I thought it really served me well, because it says, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit." And it's from Aristotle. And the reason I like that is because, you know, with all this kind of this shock of George getting a moderate to severe stroke, I have, you know, taking a walk in the morning is a habit. Writing in my journal every morning is a habit. Reading something good to inspire me today is a habit. So I cannot stop it because I'm used to doing it. And I think that serves me well. And so I share it with you, that in hopes that, you know, you can try to create a habit for yourself. So because times will get tough, and how do we get through those times? Okay, so let's look at, I'd like to do a little recap of the lunch and learn. And first I'd like to talk about the share card. Remember we had the share card? Oh wait, no, I don't want to talk about that. I saw our new agent, and actually I wanted to introduce her. So if you could unmute yourself. Okay, there you
Sagalam.
go. Okay, say your name for all of us again.
Sagalam Walter Mariam. The T is the to confuse people, but really the T is silent. And it means grace of the word. And I say, give me enough grace for me, forget the word. But I don't say that. So that's the meaning of my name. Okay. I am originally from East Africa. Been here more than half of my life. Everybody, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, and we won't ask you how much that half is.
Well, been here 36 years now. But what inspired me to go to real estate It's so funny. You might think it's funny, but for some people, it's amazing. I got my license before I even have a driver's license.
Wow.
And the reason is, wherever I go, they ask me American work experience. And I didn't have any problem in English. I'm college graduate. I speak the way I spoke even then. But everywhere I go, there was a request. And I came as a political asylum. So I could stay for welfare for 3 years, but we didn't. It's like after a couple of months, we want to start work. And my husband, with all his education, started as a busboy at the airport. And me, I was not lucky to find a job. And I say, okay, America, I will show you. Nobody decides how much I make, what I make, and what I make it. That's the inspiration for me to get to my real estate. And I got my license before I have a driver's license. Um, for some people, it's amazing, but I did sell because I was determined to make it. And anytime I'm cold calling, walking to the real estate office with a big high heels, like
Oh.
3, 4 blocks, because I don't have a car.
Wow.
And I act like as if I own a car. And I call, and people say, well, can we see this property? I say, okay, you have to come so we can pre-qualify you. They come and I tell them, well, my car is at the shop. Take your car to see the property.
Wow.
That's the way I bought my first car. And I bought a house after being here 3 years, less than 3 years. And I love real estate. I'm passionate about it. But why did I stop working on real estate? Because it has been a while. I keep on renewing it, but I end up at the city job. My reason is my kids were young when I started, but when they become 5, 6, I decided instead of looking for the money to be able to work definite time, come back and take care of my family. That was my reason for stopping. I use it for me and my family, but I was not going out there to look for business. But that real estate took me to the city job. I became a financial development officer, and I was managing the city of Los Angeles low income housing. And I still am passionate about it, and ended up in that department and was serving the unfortunate ones. So I was managing the low income housing compliance monitoring unit. And after a while, you kind of have other things to do. And life is not only about money. I have something which I passionately care about, African women and children. I decided to quit my job because if you work 20 years and 60 years, you can retire. So I retired to focus on my nonprofit, which is for African women and children. But I want to do this job, not for me per se, but to be able to finance my nonprofit. I think that's enough for now. And the more you know me, the more you'll know about me.
Yeah, well, you know what, Sagalam, you're not shy, and I love that about you. So Sagalam came to our lunch and learn 2 weeks ago. So, let's talk about the share card. Share card people had been, we're trying to get the digital card going. And so I wanted to share with you that, I got a chat here from Deborah. They said, because I won the $150, but I am sharing that with one of our agents in the office who got the next highest. So let me do this first. Sagalam, welcome to our team. And so here she is at our lunch and learn. And then here is Deborah winning half of the gift card. Well, it's not a gift card, it was a check. So let me just stop it for a second and share why. Because you know what? I'm in the trenches with you. I need to learn how to use the share card as well as you do. And so I want to be a part of what you're doing. And you know what? When you practice real estate, as you know, real estate changes all the time. And I, as a manager, need to be on top of it and to find out what you're going through as well out there. And so the saying I like to keep in mind is the leader sets the pace for the pack. And, I would have liked not to have won it, but I wanted to push myself so that I could push you as well. And I'm hoping that you guys can do this. What we have, I got 74. Deborah had 59. But I wish we had more participation because guess what? Look at this. I want to show you something. Let me share this. George is the one who knows how to make it go, but I have it set up already. Since I had my share card and had people receive it, look at this thing. I'll just read at the bottom. It says, someone is coming from out of the area and one of them works for Northrop and is being transferred to Redondo Beach, and the other is pursuing leads in the film industry. Can you give them your digital business card? And he says some more stuff. They are looking for help to find a rental and possibly a permanent residence in the future. I said, yes, please give them the Aloha 88500. And so I wanted to say, look at how easy that is, guys. Asking the people to take your share card, they have your digital, and then they think of you when people are going to move into the area. And how easy is that? And that's what I wanted to try to convey to you to take advantage. I don't know if you could talk, Beverly, because I know Beverly was trying to get everybody to to use that share card. Are you going to try to unmute yourself? No, you cannot. Okay, so that is why you know what? I participated in the Brush of Love also because the leader sets the pace of the pack. Because if I don't do it, you know what? Whatever I tell you to do, I am doing it too. So that gives me, I hope, credibility, because I don't want to be the kind of manager that doesn't do it and then I don't know what to do, so I want to be able to help you fully. And I'm not selling all the time. And guess what? If I get so many leads, especially with George in the hospital, I will refer it to the agent that I see that is very motivated and ready to work. So if I get those leads, that's what I'm going to do with them. Okay, so Vicki, I am really happy that you're here with us.
Thank you.
Sorry, guys, excuse me, but let me just try to share all these things here. Okay, so here are the people from our lunch and learn the other day. There's Miguel and Wendy. Look at Sammy and Evelyn. There's our pizza. This one, I cropped the bottom half because it was already gone. So we do have fun. Okay, and so here are some comments from our agents.
Oh.
So here's one from Evelyn Chu. I really like Vicki. She's the person who can help us increase our leads, providing multiple ways to help agents generate leads, especially at no cost to them, or no cost leads. 2, teaching agents how to do farming, such as mail merging, because this is the back to the basics that we need to get to in this market.
Thank you, Evelyn.
And then here's another one. This one is from Tom Wang. So this is just their thoughts about our lunch and learn. What did they learn from it? So Thomas says, when you're doing the role play, there's a tendency to try to keep talking. What I learned from agents is that active listening skills are a major part of the encounter. And, as we did the role play at the office, we noticed that our agents, we think that we have to talk all the time, but most of our agents asked a question and let the seller speak. And we're just kind of trying to get a feel of what's needed. And then here's another last quote, and then it's from Evelyn Ramirez. She came towards the end, but she was saying that as she listened to the people role playing, she said, there are certain things that sellers are interested in knowing: how much their house is worth, what costs they have to pay, and how much they will get at the end of the deal. So that is the bottom line, is just how much is their house is worth and what are they going to get at the end of the deal. So this is just a good reminder for all of us, what our role playing is. Just gives us a chance to practice. So now I wanted to share with you this video. I think we're there now. The secret to changing anything in 5 seconds. So the reason I share it is because with George in the hospital, that means I have to do everything at home. And sometimes there are things that I don't want to do. And one of them is taking out the recycles to the bin, the recycle bin, especially in this hot weather. And then the second one is I hate taking the trash barrels out to the curb and then bringing them back, because there's 3 big ones. And that was not my job. That was George's job. And so I had to learn to program myself to just do it, you know? And then the other thing is just lots of little things, but I've had to program myself just to do it, because guess what? I could procrastinate. I could just not do it. And then I'll just have trash all over my backyard. But what I did is this what I'm going to share with you has been very helpful. And just I thought it's good for us in real estate, because guess what? We don't want to go farming. I know Deborah Myers went farming this morning. She told me that she wanted to beat the heat. So she went out there, but that's hard work. But how do you get yourself out there when it's so hot outside? So Tom, if you're ready, can you go ahead and share that video?
Yes. Right back.
Regulates your body to keep you alive.
Can you rewind
It
it?
also, when you're sleeping, half of your mind shuts down and the other half catalogs everything that happened to you today so you can have memories. And the third thing that your mind does is it protects your ass. And the main way that it does that is it does that by magnifying risk. Magnifies any situation or any conversation. And so, you know, what happened for me is I realized as my life was circling the drain and we're facing bankruptcy and Chris is on the couch, that this was not the situation that I wanted. I didn't want my life to end in divorce. I didn't want to be in financial ruin. I didn't want to be depressed. I didn't want to be anxious. And here's the truly screwed up thing. I knew what to do to fix it. See, this is the trap that most of us are in. Most of us know what we could do to change things for the better. And we spend our time and our energy talking ourselves out of doing those things. Mm-hmm. And the other thing that I convince people of, because this is so true, it's the littlest stuff. The little things make all the difference. And I could spend hours with you explaining the science of confidence and explaining the science of risk and explaining the science behind courage and explaining habit loops and how they get encoded in your brain. You don't need to know any of that because you're not applying for a PhD in psychology. I have done the work, and what I know is that true change comes down to 5-second windows. That moment that you know you need to do something that feels slightly uncomfortable, and your resignation, your excuses, your self-doubt start cranking up in your head, you gotta move. You have to move. And so what happened for me is I invented a hack, a brain hack. It's the stupidest thing in the world. And it turns out that it's actually tremendously profound and powerful at a neurological level and at a scientific and a psychological level. When I invented it, I had no clue what I had invented. And it took me about 3 years from the moment that I invented it to actually realize that, holy shit, I think I've discovered the secret to changing anything.
And what was it?
So I called it the 5-second rule because I never intended to talk about it. It was a cheat to beat the alarm clock. Here's how it goes. The alarm rings in the morning. Most of us don't want to get out of bed, right? But we know we should. So I would go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The moment the alarm rang, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just like NASA, what they do, they count down to launch a rocket ship. And the counting backwards kind of shut my mind off. And then suddenly at 1, I would stand up. And I would use this every single morning to get out of bed. And 9 years later, I still use it every single morning to get out of bed. I think some behavior you can learn and automate. Other stuff that you don't like doing, you're going to always have to push yourself. That's just how it is. And I noticed 2 things as I started to use it. I noticed that window where I'd be lying in bed and I'd have the knowledge that I should get up, but in my body I wouldn't feel it. And as I lied in bed, and you can try this tomorrow morning, set your alarm early, earlier than you normally do, and watch what happens. The alarm will go off and your mind knows that you said you would get up. Your mind has that wisdom, your gut has that wisdom. It's holding on to it. And then it starts to kind of nudge you with a little guilt. And then what'll happen is all of a sudden you'll start talking yourself out of doing the thing you said you would do.
Yeah, it's too cold, or I'm too tired, or...
And it happens in less than 5 seconds. And so what I know is that those are two different parts of your brain going at once. And if you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you interrupt the habit of self-doubt and the habit of talking yourself out of it and shutting down the part of the brain that actually minimizes your power, and you awaken the part of the brain that is active in functional MRIs when you're trying to change. And so all you need to know to change anything is A, you're never gonna feel like it. You're never gonna feel ready to start that business. You're never gonna feel ready to have that hard conversation. You're never gonna feel like getting out of bed. You're never gonna feel like it's a good idea to apply for that promotion. We're designed to stay comfortable and safe. So if you know that you're A, never gonna feel like it, and B, that no one's coming, it's up to you. You're not a kid anymore. I'm dead serious about this. Yeah. Like so many of you are waiting to be picked. By who? Are you making the most of your life? And the answer is yes, if you pay attention to what you do in 5-second windows. Are you the kind of person that when your instincts come alive and they want to nudge you to go talk to that cute gal across the way or raise your hand in a meeting and share that idea? Are you the kind of person that pushes yourself to step into that, or do you pull back? That's the power of a 5-second decision, because you can't choose how you feel. You can't. Yeah, maybe you can go and become a Buddhist monk and meditate for 4 months and get full control of your physiology, and yeah, technically you can control how you feel, but you and I can't. We got a job, you got kids you got to raise. You can't, that's not possible. So you can do something else. You can actually disregard your feelings. You can become the kind of person that is so in tune with the values that you have and what you actually want, that when feelings rise up, you can choose to act however you want despite them. Even if you're tired, you can still go to the gym. Even if you're annoyed with your spouse, you can still speak in a manner that's loving. Even if you don't feel like doing that hard work, you can still push yourself to do it. Your feelings aren't a choice. Your behavior and your thoughts are always a choice.
Yeah, so is this probably in the category of emotional intelligence, yeah?
I think it's both emotional intelligence and it is the skill that nobody practices, which is self-monitoring. So the greatest capacity, I believe, in the next 10 years for people, particularly as technology accelerates, is do you have the ability to focus on what matters, and do you have control over your thoughts and actions? And so, you know, emotional intelligence, yes. I tend to think about emotional intelligence more about reading other people and kind of understanding who you are and how you are. This, to me, took it a step further, because I was always a big EQ person in the Emotional Intelligence 2.0 book and loved that stuff, even when my life was in a train wreck. Had no idea how to apply it. And, you know, that's the other thing, is that at the end of the day, what's missing for most of us is tools. So, you know, a lot of people that mainline personal development content have been reading about making changes for 10 years, but they don't do it.
How did you get out of that train wreck, by the way?
The 5-second rule.
So, but you can't take those 5 seconds to the bank, right? Like, so.
Oh, yes, you can.
So how'd you do it? Like, break it down.
What are you going to do? What would you do if you had a restaurant that was failing?
Probably figure out how to cut bait, or
Yes.
Sell the assets,
Yes.
or pivot, or flip it, or do something
Yes,
else.
and all those things require you to have conversations. They require you to do research. They require you to walk into a bank. They require you to renegotiate things with your landlord. You have the answers up here. Do you have the courage and the tools, things that are terrifying? That it's easier to tell yourself, oh, that's not going to work, so I might as well not even try it. You have no idea. Yes. And so what happened is, once I started using it to get out of bed on time, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up, I started to notice, holy cow, all day long there are these 5-second windows where I know what I should be doing. Maybe I should use this stupid thing to take control of my head and push myself to do those things too. And so I went from sleeping in and hitting the snooze alarm 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a day, to getting up on time, getting to the gym, not having 4 Manhattans a night, speaking to Chris differently. Instead of complaining about the fact that I had lost this television show with Fox, actually picking up the phone and cold calling for auditions, something that I was terrified to do. And slowly but surely, because I was changing myself 5 seconds at a time, making decisions that scared me, making decisions that I was convinced weren't going to work. I was doing it anyway. I started to change. I became the kind of person that stopped thinking about stuff and complaining about stuff, and I became the kind of person that I always had wanted to be, the kind of person that makes things happen. I saw myself changing. And what happens is, you know, you can follow anybody's step-by-step program. You can, and it might work. Most of them do. Every diet will work. The problem is we don't go internal first. You cannot change your life unless you go inside first, you figure out who you are, what your own wisdom is telling you to do, and you start to actually believe it and follow it. Because if you don't develop simply the ability to get up when you said you would, to eat what you said you would, to exercise because you said you would, to talk in a way to your kids that's patient because you said you would, you will never have the self-confidence to succeed in any environment. You won't.
Okay, Tom, thank you.
In any area of your life where you feel
Oh, good.
Okay, well, any thoughts from anyone?
No, that was great.
Yeah, you know, I would like to challenge all of you this week, and we'll see what happens for next week if you get more things done, you know, or that you feel good about yourself, and then you start to see yourself in a different way. So I think it's important. I felt it works. I was surprised because I really, really, really hate taking out the trash. But when I did that thing, there I was doing 3 barrels at a time. So imagine what it could do for our real estate business. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, Vicki, let me share my screen, which is the Orange Coast Title Toolbox. Do you want to talk about what it is first as I pull it up? Vicki, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Can you see the screen?
Okay. I see it. Yes.
So
Thank
let's
you,
do one
Connie.
demonstration, and you could just talk me through it.
Okay. So welcome everybody. Thank you those who did come to the training, and the scripting was great, by the way. Just FYI, want to put my 2 cents in for the agents did listen. And Leilani, I know you're the working manager, and I was very surprised she did listen. I was pretending to be a buyer, or I'm sorry, the seller, and she sent me the following day a market analysis of my property. I thought that was great because I showed it to my husband. I'm like, oh my gosh. So you guys as agents, as you listen, and I'm sure you're doing this, but I was super impressed with that tool Berkshire Hathaway has that Leilani shared, because if I were an average consumer home seller person, I would have been, and I was impressed, but that would separate that agent from another agent for me. So thank you for sharing. You guys did great in your scripting.
And hold on one second, Vicki. By the way,
Sure.
that was just set up automatically. So
That's cool. And you just push a button? How does that work?
no, I didn't even do it because I set it up a long time ago and I didn't even know it went out. I think it's like every 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm just saying, if we could do more things like that, it could take you to another level.
Totally. Even if I'm, even if you're, and the value was way, great and all this stuff. And if I'm that person, like I'm on the fence, I'm calling Leilani or whoever sent me
Yeah,
that.
because we all want to sell your house, Vicki.
Yeah,
Ready.
I know, right?
Also, I got the dibs, but guess what? You guys can do it too. But that's because
it
I'm
was-
a working manager. But
It
I
was
want to
great.
share it with you because I want you to do it.
It was great. So that's a great tool. So use that, you guys. It was awesome. And thank you. Yeah, it was a good little educational experience being on the other side of you agents as a participant. So with that being said, we did the the training as well on this is actually Title Toolbox tool, which is set up through Orange Coast, but it is not an Orange Coast title actual product, because we do have that website, the farming website, which is great as well. But this tool, as I was explaining at the training, if you're going to go, this I like a little bit better because you can fine tune the criteria, I think, better and sometimes a little easier. So if Leilani wants to go ahead, what purpose of the tool is, and if you guys are not, if you don't have access to the title toolbox, give me a text. I will set you up. You'll get a welcome email from Title Toolbox, and you will set your own password. I set you up with your email address, and it emails you a welcome link. So if you don't have it, I want you to have it and go and try to use it. This tool is for, as you see, we're on statistics. So what I like to use this tool for is, you guys are usually looking for a good turnover rate. And what is that? That is meaning, well, there's more people selling in particular areas. Other resources such as the OC Title website, you can pick your farm, and it's a great whole different animal. In some ways, each have their pros and cons. This one, you can say, hey, I want to search an area and I want a 6% or higher turnover rate, period. Let's start there. So you would go log in and you'll go to statistics, and then I always do area search. You can do a radius, you can do the boundaries or whatever. So you'll get this screen here. And then if you'll see over here on property type, it defaults to SFR and condos. If you do not want the condos, you X that out. If you want to keep everything, you keep it there. You want to make sure on your county, you're in the right county. This is, you can go any county in the state. So
San Bernardino.
anywhere you want to go. Okay. Now, city or zip code. Now, if you pick cities such as Chino Hills, Rancho, wherever, Ontario, these guys have different zip codes. So if you want to just do a specific zip code in Ontario or wherever, Chino, just pick the zip code. If you want the whole thing, you'll get a mix. So whatever you feel, there we go. So she picked 91710. And for now, see this turnover rate box over here, right there. So the point of the statistic area search is just that. You're going to pick your county, you're going to pick your city or zip code, you're going to pick your property type, and you want an X amount of turnover rate. If you want a 10% or higher turnover rate, you can put that. If you want an 8, 7, 6, whatever. Minimum 6, I would say, is good. That's what the Tom Ferries and Mike Ferries of the world say. But there you have it. So 6% minimum, and then if you go ahead and hit search, let's see, that box down there, Layla, there's 48 records. Okay. Now, there's 48 records, and you see these little pins? Those are housing tracts. So it's not giving you the 48 homeowners. It's giving you 48 tracts of homeowners. So I did call Title Toolbox on this because I was having a fit not being able to select all, and it isn't an option. So you have to, you go through and you look at see the turnover rate column here, like she's on 33, blah, blah. That's the highest turnover rate to the lowest. And if you go to number of homes, you can see how many homes are in each of those turnover rates. So what I like to do is, Leilani, if you want a number of homes tab,
Okay, yeah.
go to the top, click that, and click it. It should bring, there you go. It brings the most number of homes in that particular tract, and that's 6.38%. So this just brings you, rather than get 2 homes at whatever, you can go down and pick your number of homes that you want. So to do that, you would go over here to this little settings wheel over here.
Oh, Where
select,
is it?
select, right,
Oh, here?
yeah, perfect, right there. So you're gonna select, now, these boxes, you wanna select the tracks that you want. So if you wanna just select some, Leilani, feel
Let
free
me
to,
I was trying to take off that thing. Okay, so let's just, let's go by turnover rate.
okay,
So I'm gonna click that. So we're now. So let's
there you
just
go,
say we
there you
want
go,
like like these here. Let me just go
Okay.
like those three.
perfect. Okay, and then you go select, so let's go export, I believe, let's see, will it give us,
Okay. So it did export. Now
do
I'll
it, no,
open it.
hold on. There should open it should open, I'm looking at the screen. What did it do? What did it do? Anything?
Well, it says it's not able to share that screen for you guys. So
Oh, okay. So
that's-
go back, you should be able to, go back up to your checked boxes. Are they checked?
oh, yes, they are.
Okay. Is there on your screen a, yeah, we clicked those and then we export, and then did it populate the,
Yes. Let me see if I
What
can
did it do?
find it. You know, I think it's me not being able to figure all this out right now.
do you
but-
want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead. You want
You
me
want me
to?
to try it?
I'll unshare, okay?
Okay.
Okay. No, I don't know how to get back. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm stopping my share. and
Okay.
then you can share. But it's pretty cool.
It is a cool tool. Let me see if I can do it. Let's go
Especially for
here.
those of you who are farming, you can look for those higher turnover rate homes.
Will it
But
show?
you know what? I don't want to dissuade you from the low turnover rates because some of those are like old people who are ready to go to a nursing home.
Correct, right, yes. So mine looks a little different because I'm on a laptop. I think it looks just a little bit different. So let's go back at statistics here. Area search. Let me see if I can get that, go smaller so I can see it better. Okay, there we go. And I don't know how there we go, area search. Okay, back to that, let's just, we did zip code 91710. Let's see, mine might be slow, hang on. Sorry, guys. I wanted to get to the part where we have the data, and then we can edit the search further and go with owner occupied, non-owner occupied. Let's see if it'll let me do it. Is it doing it? Come on. And then, of course, you can go in those filters and then go to the far one where it says premier leads. You can get the bankruptcies, divorces, notice of defaults, phones, email address lookup, stuff like that. But how come
Well, you know what? I'm just thinking of time.
Yeah,
Vicki.
okay.
So basically, we just wanted to show you that title toolbox is a powerful tool with good info. I love the fact that the turnover rate is easily, you know, we can figure it out really fast because it's hard for me to find it on the MLS to figure all
It
that
is.
out. But
So
I
if you
like
guys
it.
want a one-on-one, I'd be happy to go over it with you. On a one-on-one, we can go over it on the computer and walk you through it because I do think it's a great tool. And I think once you see all the aspects of it, I think the group did, I think, get a lot out of it when they were there in person. So it is a good tool. So just give me a holler, and I'll be happy to help you guys with it.
Deborah Meyer says she would like a one-on-one, and Deborah's a
Perfect.
new
I'll
agent.
reach out, Deborah,
that's good.
and I'll make sure you're on there.
Okay, so anyone else that would like it, call Vicki. Vicki, put your phone number in the chat when you get a chance, okay?
Oh, yes, okay.
Email. All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, but you know what? Farming is a key part of our especially I see Bob nodding his head. That's how he made, Bob, I could say you made like over how much money? I mean, in a year, 300,000? over $300,000. And that was from just that diligent farming. And if you don't feel like going, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so I'd like to turn the mic over to the Zoom over to Maria. And is Brian here?
No,
Oh,
can you
okay.
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. No, Brian had to take his child into the doctor, so he wasn't able to come. So it's me. Anyhow, it's been a little while since I've been here. Hello, everybody, and thank you for having me. We are with Movement Mortgage now. It's been a little bit of a whirlwind, just trying to get all, our ducks all lined up, but we're finally up and running and everything is going smoothly. Great company. Their turnaround time as far as the loans have been fabulous. I've already gotten a couple loans through them and it's worked out really well. So we're really excited and we're hoping to be able to perhaps do a lunch and learn so that we can introduce some of the new products that we have with the company. And I know Brian wanted to go over a TikTok marketing, but he's a young chap. I'm going to let him do that.
I'm just going to share though, because we did set up a lunch and learn.
Oh, good.
For you. So let me see if I can get this up there. Okay, let me stop share. Let me do that again. So let's see if here's the lunch and learn for the TikTok. And this is one of your new tools.
Yes.
Okay.
It is. It's one of the new tools that we have. So Brian is really excited. I'm really excited that we're going to be able to present this. It's got some great information, and I think it's going to be really useful as far as, for all the agents to just get a little bit of an idea, because I think social media is the way to go right now. So that's going to be very interesting. And of course, we'll provide some yummy food. So we're looking forward to that. And that's going to be on September 29th at 1 p.m. Other than that, I was just going to kind of go over a little bit of the inflation. Inflation is out of control, interest rates and all. One thing that I kind of wanted to bring up is that we are anticipating that the feds are going to raise the interest rates again. We've heard half a point. We kind of think it's going to be more like 3/4 of a point again. And it's again trying to control inflation. It's out of control, and that's the only way they could do it. What happens to our interest rates when the Fed does that, as when they did in July, we kind of start improving our interest rates every time they do that, but it's a very short window. And then all of a sudden they start, climbing back up. We're back up to almost where we were in June again, as far as the rates. We're looking at rates, very high fives. Like 5.9, 5.7 for FHA. And that's if you have stellar credit. We're talking 740 FICO score. More than likely, people are looking at high sixes, or not high six, low six, 6.1, 6.2. So we're trying to come up with different ways of creative financing so that not everybody is being shocked. A lot of people are looking at it and the payment is higher than what they would like to have. And, they're deciding against it. But one thing I was going to bring up is that we do have, and I will maybe have a chance during our lunch and learns to be able to go over it. And it's a 2-1 buy down. This is a program that used to be really popular back in the 1990s. But it is a program that I think is really useful for all the young buyers coming in. So basically what it is the interest rate, you're going to do a 2-1 buy down. You're going to buy the interest rate down for a couple years.
Hello?
So say,
Hi, how are you? I just called to say hi.
say the interest rate,
Pretty good. I'm in a meeting, but there's
I don't know who that is. Oh,
I got her.
okay. So anyhow, let's just say, for example, the interest rate is 6% today. And we're going to do a 2-1 buy down, and we're going to buy it down to, 4%. So what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to have a 4% interest rate for 1 year. And then the next year it's going to go up to 5. And then from 3 to 30, it's going to go up to what the rate was today, which is 6%. That usually helps people to get used to that higher interest rate. Not only that, but in the meantime, we kind of think that the rates are going to come down a little bit. So you're paying the 4% rate and buying a little bit of time so that the rates come down, give you an opportunity to perhaps refinance. That does come at a cost, and it's all very individual. So it could be 2 points or it could be 1.5 points. But that is something that we are really beginning to see a lot of, and buyers are more interested in it because their payment is actually based on the 4%. The other thing I kind of wanted to go over was, just the inventory. Inventory is up. I know that on the loans that I've been dealing with, most of the loans have come in with seller concessions, and quite a bit, actually. I've had 2 just recently, one with 15 grand and one with 13,000. The other thing that we're using that concession for is to buy down the interest rate. So that is, the buyers are really, they want to ask the seller for a concession strictly for that. So that's something else that is looking really promising. Let's see, the other thing I was going to talk about was, I think that was pretty much it. Anyhow, does anyone have any questions?
So what are the interest rate? What's the interest rate now? Did you say?
The interest rate conventional is about 5.9. FHA is 5.7. VA is 5.5.
Okay. Okay, and I see Sagalum has her hands raised.
Yeah.
So Sagalum, what's your question?
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you, Maria. Hi.
Of course.
My question is, if the buy down, what happens to the balance in between the 4 and the 6%, the 2% in between? Does it add up to their principal? I mean,
No. No, not at all. You basically, you have bought it down. So the first year you're just paying the 4%. And the second year you're paying the 5%, and then you go on into the 6%. There is no negative amortization along with the 2-1 buy down. It is what you've bought it down to.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions for Maria? Yeah, Betty Jo?
Do you have a program where that buy down is more extended longer, like for 10 years or?
Well,
You
no,
said
it's not.
2 years?
That would be an adjustable where, you're going to do a 7-year adjustable or a 10-year adjustable. Honestly, I've looked at an adjustable for several people, and it's just not very attractive right now. It doesn't save as much as it's going to cost you. It's not really making a whole lot of sense to go into an adjustable. And that's why we think on the 2-1 buy down, it's much more attractive, even though it is going to cost you. But the benefit of you saving those 2 years is greater than what the cost is going to be, especially if the seller is going to give you a concession and they're going to actually pay for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to ask some of our agents that are out in the field representing buyers, Ellen and Miguel, what are you finding out there in regards to buyers? is there opportunity? Ellen?
Well,
Okay.
me right now, it's been a little bit kind of hard.
Mhm.
Sellers is still like not want to give that much room for the buyers.
Okay. Well, you know, it's good to know so we can be realistic when we're out there because, you know, we might think it's good for buyers, but then the sellers still think it's a seller's market. So
That they do.
yeah. How about you, Raymond? You just, I don't know if you can talk, but you just put a listing on the market and you had an open house. How did that go? Did you get anything? I'm not sure if you can speak there. How about you, Sammy? Can unmute yourself? Let's unmute there. There you go.
Okay. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, what's your question?
Oh, I
Sorry.
was just asking, you know, I know that you had a listing. It was a hefty one, over $2 million in Irvine. It was, you fell out of escrow, but you got a buyer right away. How did?
Yes.
Yes. How's that going?
So far so good.
Yeah.
The buyer is 1021 exchange. So I got a good offer. But I have a question regarding the loan. So is that any opportunity to come in regarding the, it's called contract, like we buy the loan from the seller, because right now the loan rate is very high right now. Is there any opportunity we ask the seller to buy the seller loan from the buyer?
You mean the buyer to buy the seller?
Buy the loan from to the seller from seller.
Are you talking about assuming the loan or?
It's called contract loan, right? It's called contract loan. I'm not sure what's the name.
I think it's assuming the seller's loan.
Assuming the seller's loan. Now, FHA loans are assumable. So if you have, say your seller has an FHA loan and say that FHA loan is 2.5 or, 3%, the buyer can actually assume that loan along with that interest rate. They have to go through the same process. They still have to qualify for the loan, but FHA loans are assumable. So that's something else that can be marketed. If someone has an FHA loan, it is assumable for anyone to take over. VA, I believe, is also assumable, but of course you have to be a veteran, and that's gotten a little bit stricter on what can and can't be assumed. FHA is the easiest way to assume a loan. They have to have originally an FHA loan. So right now that there are so many people that have such low interest rates, it's a great way to pick up a house right now. Talk about the savings that you're going to have with the rate.
That's a good idea. I mean, I didn't even think about that. So I'm so glad you brought that up, Sammy. The only thing is it's only FHA or maybe
Correct.
VA, but nothing else.
Correct.
Okay. Wow. Well, at least this is another tool in the back of our minds as we go shopping with our buyers to maybe ask if they could assume their loan. So,
and a lot of people don't know about that. So it's a definite, not even the sellers, you might have a seller that is aware of that, but it's a great way to market an FHA home.
yeah. Okay, great. All right. We're almost finished, everyone. Let me just show some, unless someone wants to say something. Go ahead, Miguel. You know what?
Yeah,
I have to just run and turn off my oven.
Yeah, I just wanna mention that I have a recent a listing recently posted yesterday night in Corona. Just in case somebody's looking, or they had a buyer looking at the Corona area.
So you said you have a listing in Corona?
I listed yesterday night. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Well, congratulations there, Miguel. So there's still opportunity. That's great. Anyone else want to say anything before I just give the announcements of our trainings coming up? Bob, you want to talk? Go ahead. Unmute yourself. Thank
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. One thing I wanted to mention about the earlier Tom's video that we watched about motivation. There are some people who need like motivation every day. That 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 idea. It's great if you get up, and what are you going to use though to promote the rest of your day? What's going to make you keep going? There's these two guys on YouTube that I watch pretty regularly in the mornings. One guy's name is David Goggins. The other guy, his name is Andy Frizzell. Both of their videos, they put out new videos maybe every, I don't know, 2, 3 times a week. The language is raw. I'll pre-warn you there. But their life stories is what they really promote. And they really get you going and make you realize that, you know, if they could do it, anybody can do good in business and good in life. So I was just going to not promote from the standpoint of business, but promote listening to them on a regular basis. But again, their language is raw, but their message is clear when they tell you how to succeed in life. And it can really easily translate into business as well.
Great. Well, thank you. So it's just about their life story. They're not in real estate.
They're not in real estate, but their message can translate into real estate. You just have to know that it's their message is pushing you to motivate you to succeed in life.
Can you put that in the chat? Their name?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll type out their names so everybody has access to it.
Yeah.
And again, a third time I'll say it. Their language is raw. It's no nonsense.
So
and
basically, you're warning us.
Yeah, I kind of, I figured some soft ears might not enjoy it, but I don't enjoy it for that. I enjoy it for the message that they send. So
yeah, so we have to overlook or overhear it.
Yeah, I figured.
And you know what? Sometimes we got to hear the message and just not really pay attention to all the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, she used kind of raw language in her presentation, so they're a little bit more raw than that, but still, their message is loud and clear.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, they're on YouTube.
Okay, thank you. So let me just go ahead and share this thing here. There is no advanced training for Thursday, just to let you know, but I thought you might like to know this. Can you stop sharing? Let me get it again. Especially for new agents, but it's our marketing resource center. You know, Vicki mentioned that she got a CMA or a market analysis, and I didn't even know I sent it because somehow, some way I had entered it in there. But if you want to find out more about our Berkshire Hathaway Resource Center, the topic will be covered on a Zoom training this Saturday, September 10th, and it will be at 10 a.m. Let me see if I can make that thing move. Yeah, 10 a.m. on Saturday. And watch for your emails because you will get an email with the Zoom link in it, okay? And I just wanted to mention also, let me see if sorry. Oops, I forgot how to, okay, let me stop sharing this one. And then the other thing is we are now members of the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce. And so next Wednesday, they do have their business meeting on Wednesday at 7:45 a.m. And it's at the Chino Hills Community Center, which is a beautiful center right across from Ayala High School. So you might want to check it out because their topic is how to make sure your website isn't terrible. And I know, you know, as we do the share card, and I know Sigalam, you asked what that is. We'll have to explain it to you better, but it's like, Sigalam, if you could write this down, type Aloha, ALOHA, to 88500, and that will give you my digital business card. And why I'm talking about the website is because I attach a lot of my personal website into that digital business card. So people can read my testimonials. They can read about other things, and you can add, like, for instance, I have three reasons why it's important. It's good to buy now. I mean, why it could be good to buy now is less competition, you know, several things like that. We can always change out the content, but it is on a digital business card. And so if you don't have your business card with you, you could just say, hey, I'll type whatever to that number. I see that. Okay, thank you, Bev. So so since we are members, on the Wednesday, 7:45 in the morning, Chino Hills Community Center, they always have the chamber meet. And then with that also, I was going to mention that on Saturday, October 22nd, they're hosting the Business Expo. In the past, we participated in the Business Expo because if you're serious about getting yourself out there, this might be a good opportunity to just go meet the community. So if we want to do it, I would need somebody to spearhead it for me because I'm not sure what my situation is going to be like. But, you know, let me know or let Beverly know if you are interested in spearheading it. And we can share with you what can be done in there, okay? So with that, I'm going to play a theme song for our ending. And I thought I would just pick the one that for the, it's the theme song from E.T. And because of E.T. wanted to go home. And I'm thinking for George, it's kind of in honor of him. He does want to come home. So thank you, everyone. And thank you all for your care. And if I don't respond to your texts or emails about George, it's just that so many people, he has so many people that he knows that keep calling. So I have to just kind of limit. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. And I'm not going to do a newsletter, okay? So, but we'll see you hopefully next week. Take care and good luck and stay cool. Drink your water. It's important. Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, take care. I'm going to stop the recording.